Welcome viewers from across the world. Before we begin this prophetic journey through Jerusalem, we'd love to know, from where are you watching this revelation unfold? Share your city in the comments below. This is a historic moment, and we want to see how the entire world is witnessing what's happening in Jerusalem right now. The crowds have gathered, thousands upon thousands, flowing like rivers toward the ancient walls. Jerusalem trembles with anticipation. The faithful have traveled from distant lands, sensing something extraordinary is unfolding. They come with prayers on their lips and hope in their hearts. The ancient stones of the Western Wall bear witness to their arrival. This is not merely a gathering, it is a convergence of souls drawn by an unseen hand. The atmosphere is electric, charged with expectation. Even the skeptics feel it. Something is happening in Jerusalem today. The call has gone out. From mountaintops and valleys, from synagogues and prayer rooms across the world. Come and see, they say. The signs are aligning. Whispers become proclamations. Social media channels overflow with images streaming live from the holy city. This moment was foretold. Ancient scrolls speak of a time when the nations would turn their eyes toward Jerusalem. That time is now. The call echoes through digital networks and spiritual connections alike. Those who have ears to hear have responded. The appointed time has arrived. The world holds its breath. Prophecy unfolds before our eyes. What was written thousands of years ago manifests in our time. The prophet Zechariah spoke of Jerusalem becoming a cup of trembling unto all the people round about. Today, those words resonate with fresh meaning. The sacred texts describe this very hour, the alignment of celestial bodies, the gathering of nations, the spiritual awakening spreading across continents. These are not coincidences, but confluences of divine timing. The ancient prophecies breathe in our modern world. They take form in events unfolding at this very moment. The veil between the spiritual and physical realms grows thin. It is happening now, not in some distant future or forgotten past. The signs appear in real time, documented on countless devices, witnessed by millions. The unusual light phenomenon over the Temple Mount lasted precisely 33 minutes this morning. Scientists search for explanations, while the faithful recognize the pattern. The numerical significance cannot be ignored. The timing during this sacred festival season speaks volumes. This present moment bridges millennia. We stand at the intersection of ancient prophecy and contemporary reality. The sacred timeline continues to unfold according to divine design. Listen to the voices rising from the crowd. A woman from Brazil falls to her knees, overwhelmed by what she witnesses. An elderly man from Ethiopia raises weathered hands skyward, tears streaming down his face. "I knew I would see this day," he whispers. Children point toward the phenomenon, their innocent eyes perceiving what some adults cannot. Pilgrims from 67 nations have documented their experiences, their testimonies flooding social media platforms. They speak different languages, but share a common understanding. Something profound is occurring. Their collective witness becomes part of the unfolding story. The human heart recognizes truth before the mind comprehends it. The shofar sounds. Its primal cry pierces the morning air. 7 times the ancient ram's horn is blown from different points surrounding the old city. The sound reverberates against stone walls that have stood for centuries. Those who hear it feel it penetrate their very souls. This is no ordinary sound. It carries spiritual weight and prophetic significance. The shofar has announced momentous occasions throughout biblical history. It heralded divine visitations and marked sacred appointments. Today it serves the same purpose. The sound transcends time, connecting present witnesses to ancient covenant promises. Heaven and earth vibrate to its frequency. The shofar calls the world to attention. Remember the patterns. Throughout history, similar signs have preceded spiritual awakenings. The pillar of fire that guided Israel, the star that led wise men to Bethlehem, the divided waters that made way for new beginnings. Today's manifestation joins this sacred lineage of divine communication. Our ancestors recorded these testimonies for this generation. They preserved the ancient wisdom, knowing we would need it now. The festivals established thousands of years ago find their fullest expression in this hour. What was shadow becomes substance. What was written becomes witnessed. The faithful of all generations stand with us as witnesses to this unfolding reality. Feel the weight of this moment. It presses upon every heart present. Even secular journalists reporting the event speak of an inexplicable heaviness in the atmosphere. Something different is happening here, they admit off camera. The spiritual gravity pulls at the soul. It demands acknowledgement. Some resist the pressure, finding rational explanations to ease their discomfort. Others surrender to it, allowing transformation to begin within them. This is the impact of divine visitation. It changes landscapes, both external and internal. The spiritual realm imprints itself upon physical reality. Those who have experienced similar moments throughout history would recognize this sensation. Consider what this means. Why now? Why Jerusalem? The convergence of geopolitical tensions, technological advancements, and spiritual awakening creates perfect conditions for prophetic fulfillment. The signs in the heavens mirror the signs on earth. Ancient texts described a generation that would witness unprecedented global connectivity alongside increasing natural disturbances. We are that generation. The acceleration of events points toward divine timing. Nothing happens by chance in Jerusalem. Every stone carries purpose. Every event carries meaning. The pattern becomes clear to those willing to see it. We stand at a pivotal moment in spiritual history. This is not the end, but a continuation. What begins here will spread outward like ripples on water. The manifestation over Jerusalem marks a transition, not a conclusion. New chapters in the divine narrative are opening before us. Those sensitive to spiritual currents feel the shift. Prayer networks across continents report similar phenomena occurring simultaneously. Something has been set in motion that cannot be reversed. The ancient prophecies speak of stages, not merely singular events. This is one sacred step in a continuing journey. The story unfolds according to divine authorship. We have witnessed one remarkable paragraph in an epic spiritual narrative. The world watches. News agencies from 83 countries have dispatched reporters to Jerusalem since the phenomenon began. Government officials issue careful statements acknowledging the unexplained events while avoiding spiritual interpretations. Scientists launch investigations while religious leaders consult ancient texts. Social media platforms struggle to manage the unprecedented traffic as billions seek information. What happens in Jerusalem never stays in Jerusalem. It ripples outward, touching lives on every continent. The tiny nation holds the world's attention once again, just as it was foretold, just as it has always been. Jerusalem remains the spiritual epicenter of human history. What comes next? The ancient texts point toward continued unfolding. This sign serves as both confirmation and invitation. Those with discernment understand its significance. The appearance over the Temple Mount correlates precisely with prophetic timelines established thousands of years ago. New revelations will emerge as scholars examine the pattern more closely, but understanding comes not merely through intellect, but through spiritual perception. The humble receive what the proud often miss. The children often see what the wise overlook. Keep watching, keep praying. The divine narrative continues to unfold. Jerusalem remains the prophetic timepiece by which spiritual seasons are measured. Today marks not an ending, but a glorious continuation. The unusual light pattern appeared precisely as thousands gathered for morning prayers. Witnesses described it as a swirling luminescence, forming distinct patterns over the sacred site. Some reported hearing sounds accompanying the phenomenon. a low humming that seemed to resonate with the ancient stones themselves. The event lasted exactly 33 minutes before dissipating, leaving no physical trace but indelibly marking the spiritual atmosphere. Thousands of videos captured the occurrence from different angles, eliminating possibilities of digital manipulation. What makes this particularly significant is its timing during the convergence of three major festival seasons, an alignment that occurs only once every 133 years. Scientists struggle to provide explanations. Some suggest unusual atmospheric conditions, while others point to potential electromagnetic anomalies. Yet these theories fail to account for the precise timing and specific location. The phenomenon appeared exclusively over Jerusalem's Old City, concentrated most intensely above the Temple Mount. No similar occurrences were reported elsewhere. More telling is the emotional and spiritual impact on witnesses. Countless testimonies describe profound personal transformations. Many report sudden healing of physical ailments during the event. Others speak of receiving clarity about life decisions or experiencing overwhelming peace. These personal testimonies cannot be explained by scientific methods alone. The historical context adds deeper significance. This week marks exactly 70 years since a similar phenomenon was documented in 1955, though on a smaller scale and witnessed by far fewer people. That event preceded significant historical developments in the region. Ancient Jewish texts reference a 70-year cycle of spiritual revelation. The timing aligns perfectly with biblical sabbatical patterns. Moreover, astronomical calculations confirm rare celestial alignments occurring simultaneously. The positioning of specific stars and planets creates a configuration described in ancient texts as preceding the revelation of divine purpose for a generation. The mathematical probability of all these factors converging randomly is infinitesimally small. Religious leaders from diverse traditions acknowledge the significance. A prominent rabbi states, "What we witnessed corresponds exactly with descriptions in our most ancient texts." Christian scholars point to specific New Testament prophecies that seem to describe the event with remarkable precision. Even Islamic authorities note correlations with certain prophetic traditions. This rare consensus across faith traditions has prompted unprecedented interfaith dialogue. The event transcends religious boundaries while simultaneously affirming ancient spiritual wisdom. It serves as both confirmation for believers and invitation to skeptics. The harmony of interpretation across traditionally divided faith communities itself constitutes a form of miraculous unity. The global response has been extraordinary. Prayer gatherings have spontaneously formed in cities across the world. Live streams from Jerusalem have broken viewing records on multiple platforms. Something about this event resonates deeply with the human spirit, transcending cultural and religious differences. Perhaps most remarkable are the reports of similar phenomena, though smaller in scale, appearing in various locations worldwide at precisely the same moment. From the mountains of Peru to islands in the Philippines, communities report brief manifestations of similar light patterns. These synchronized occurrences suggest a global spiritual event using Jerusalem as its focal point, but touching the entire world. Historical patterns reveal that such manifestations often precede significant spiritual awakening. The phenomenon itself is not the main event, but rather the announcement, the divine shofar blast calling attention to what follows. The pages of history show that similar signs have appeared before periods of profound spiritual renewal and restoration. They serve as cosmic punctuation marks in the divine narrative. What follows such signs has historically been periods of increased spiritual sensitivity, reconciliation between divided groups, and remarkable acts of compassion and justice. The sign points not to catastrophe, but to transformation, not to ending, but to renewal. The divine signature becomes visible at pivotal moments of human history. Those gathered at the Western Wall reported another remarkable occurrence. As the luminous phenomenon reached its peak intensity, hundreds of small birds, white doves not native to the region, appeared suddenly, circling the light in perfect formation before dispersing to the four directions. Wildlife experts have no explanation for this unprecedented behavior. The symbolism of doves in spiritual traditions worldwide adds another layer of significance. In many traditions, the dove represents divine presence and peace. Their appearance and behavior during the phenomenon suggests intentionality beyond natural explanation. Several witnesses also reported a distinct fragrance, described as sweet but unidentifiable, that permeated the area during the event but dissipated along with the light. The technological aspects cannot be overlooked. Every electronic device within a specific radius of the phenomenon experienced unusual behavior. Cameras captured images of exceptional clarity, despite atmospheric conditions that should have created distortion. Audio recordings picked up frequencies beyond normal human hearing range, sounds that became audible only when the recordings were analyzed. Several independent laboratories have confirmed these anomalies. Perhaps most intriguing, satellite imagery reveals that the phenomenon created a temporary electromagnetic field visible from space. These technological fingerprints provide measurable, objective evidence that something extraordinary occurred, something that interacted with both natural and human-made systems in unprecedented ways. For those with ears to hear, this event speaks volumes about our current moment in history. It arrives at a time of global uncertainty, political systems strain under polarization, economic models face unprecedented challenges, environmental concerns grow more urgent. In this context, the sign over Jerusalem offers something humanity desperately needs, a reminder that we participate in a larger story, that despite appearances there is purpose and direction to human history. The timing suggests that we stand at a critical juncture, a moment of decision both individually and collectively. The sign calls us to recognize our place in a narrative that transcends our limited perspective. What does this mean for you watching now? Perhaps you feel drawn to these events without fully understanding why. Something resonates within you, a recognition beyond logical explanation. This is the nature of spiritual awakening. It begins as a gentle stirring within before manifesting in external awareness. Your attention to these events is not coincidental. Throughout history, those who recognized significant spiritual moments were often called to participate in what followed. Your witnessing makes you part of this unfolding story. The question becomes not merely what you have seen, but what you will do with what you have seen. How will this moment change your understanding? How will it influence your choices? As night falls over Jerusalem, the atmosphere remains charged with expectation. Though the visible phenomenon has passed, its impact continues to reverberate through collective consciousness. Thousands remain in prayer and contemplation, unwilling to depart from the sacred space. Many report continued sensations of presence and peace. Tonight, Jerusalem sleeps restlessly, aware that tomorrow brings fresh revelation. The ancient prophecies speak not of isolated events, but of progressive unfolding. What we witness today, says one elderly witness who has lived in Jerusalem his entire life, is only the beginning. As stars appear above the ancient city, there is collective certainty that the divine narrative continues to unfold. The sacred sign over Jerusalem has written a new chapter in our spiritual history.